Hello and welcome back to Dan Talks United. Yes, we're back again. It's Manchester United versus West Ham. Tomorrow night, 8:15, another late one. We're back to those late games again. But yes, we're back at it. 4 wins in a row so far. Can we get 5? But we'll go into that. We'll definitely get into that. But first and foremost, let's just have a quick recap. I just want to show you the table and where those bottle jobs are. Spurs, where's the bottle jobs at? Let's have a look. Right, put your comments in below in regards to what you think here. But are Spurs going to get relegated? Is that possible? I don't know. Thomas the Frank engine, is he going to derail Spurs off the track? I don't know. But the 15th, and to consider the fact that last season the beat us in the Europa League final. I think they finished, was it 16th or 17th, and we finished 15th. And look where they are, and look where we are in the table there. We're 4th there. But very interesting to see that. But put your comments in below. Will Spursy go down? Could be interesting. But let's move on though. Just a bit of news before we move into the preview. So we are going to discuss the game, and this is what this video is all about. But we are just going to cover a bit of news, a bit of the presser, so Carrick's presser, and then, like I say, we'll get on to the preview, and then finally, and get your score predictions ready. It's the big one. It's the score prediction right at the end of the video. So let's go, guys. So next up is comments from Carragher. Jamie Carragher. So obviously after, I don't know if any of you guys watched it, but what a match against Man City. Looks like Liverpool were doing really well. They scored that free kick, that amazing free kick from Szoboszlai. What a hit that was. I mean, he's looking like a player that can really hit free kicks, and he's been scoring some absolute wonder strikes from the spot then, from the free kick area. 30, 40 yards out or whatever it may be. I think he did a wonder one against Arsenal not so long ago as well. So, and I think he's done it for his country, so he's got it in him, the lad. But what Carragher's saying, more importantly, is I think he feels that Liverpool might not make that top 4, top 5 after that loss. And is he right? So put your comments in below. But I just thought that was interesting just to bring that one up. And it also goes in line with whether we've cemented top 5, top 4 or not. But let's move on. So that's where the league's at. That's where we're at. So obviously, just to have a quick recap on that league, there is Arsenal in first position, as we know. City got back into second, because I think Villa was sort of flirting with it when they were playing their game. And then Villa's there in third, 47 points. And then we're in 4th there. So like I say, I've got 2 eyes on Villa and 1 eye on City. Could be a bit of a dream, could be a bit of hope, and obviously we've still got plenty of games to go, but it's very possible. It's very possible, but what do you guys think? And then you've got Chelsea there in 5th, and then Carragher, not happy that Liverpool are there in 6th. And obviously, they're, 4 points off 5th there? 5 points off us. So are we starting to cement our position in top 5? Are we going to get a bit of European football? Let's see. Let's see. So, just moving on then to the presser. So, just something that came out of the presser as well. Carrick giving a bit of an update on 2 of the injured players. I don't remember hearing anything about Dorgu, so I just still don't know what's going on with Dorgu, how long he's going to be out for. But in particular, talking about Mount and De Ligt there, it looks like both of them obviously aren't going to be fit for tomorrow against West Ham. Looks like Mount could come back for Everton. Although, do we feel like he fits into the system anyway? Is he a miss? I don't know. Still a good player, still good in the press, so it'll be good for the bench anyway, if anything. And then De Ligt, it's just a mystery with De Ligt. He's like, where's Wally sort of scenario. It's just like he just seems to have disappeared. It's just really weird. And I suppose we're not overly talking about him because Martinez and Maguire are doing so well. But again, we need the numbers, we need the strength on the bench, and it'd be nice to have De Ligt back. But like I say, let's get into the preview now. So, as I was saying, we're playing against West Ham. It's 8:15 at the London Stadium. Can we get 5 wins in a row? Now, in the press conference, this was something that Carrick was asked about I don't know if I agree with this, that you should be asking him about this, because it's all sort of social media stuff. Obviously, fellow content creator in Frank, but he's been asked about whether he knows about United Strand and him getting his hair cut if we get 5 wins in a row. Carrick did confirm that his kids have told him about it, so he's aware of it. But good answer, remaining professional. He's not talking about it with the players. He's not making it a part of any sort of match day rituals or anything. He's not sort of even thinking about it. It's not coming into any preparations or anything like that, which I wouldn't expect anything different. But I'm glad that that's the case, because it just needs, it's got mentioned, is answered the question, but you just need to move on, because for me, he shouldn't really be talking about that for me in a press conference. But a journalist can't help themselves, can they? Absolute arseholes at times, to be fair, anyway. So, moving along from that, like I say, we've got West Ham coming up, but really quickly, just to mention as well, because Gary Neville gave a bit of an update, so I'll quickly just cover that before we move on. So as you can see here, Neville's pretty much saying that he's got confirmation from Manchester United that they have started the process to find a new coach. Dare I say a new manager? A new coach anyway. So what that basically means is that although Carrick is doing well so far, it's not nailed on to be the next coach for Manchester United. And they are going to do their due diligence, they're going to do their due process and look for the best candidate. I assume though, if Carrick was to do well, that I'm sure he'll be in line for at least an interview and be considered. But the main thing here is that they're not going to do anything rash, and as it says there, they're not going to be bounced into it, as they're calling it. Don't know whose words they are, but not going to be bounced into the decision. And I suppose, and whether it's fair or not fair, they don't want to sort of go down that line again where fans are sort of saying, Ollie at the wheel, sign it, sign it, sign it. And I get that. And like I say, we can get giddy, we can get excited, but I think it's someone has got to have a level head, and someone's got to actually use the brain, use the head, and actually go for a proper process. At the end of the day, as Manchester United fans, we want the best coach possible to take this team forward, and we've just been in the mire far too long, and we just need to get this sorted. And this appointment is really important, really key that we get this appointment nailed on and spot on, because we need to start moving forward now. And there's enough of this rebuild scenarios, because every time someone comes in or a new coach comes in, it's a new rebuild, and we can't afford to keep rebuilding. We just need to go forward now, and we're in a good position in the league at the moment. And hopefully, if Carrick can get us over the line and get us back some Champions League football, we can actually push forward then. And whoever that coach is coming in, like I say, needs to be the right one going forward. But let's get into it now in terms of the preview against West Ham. And like I was saying, playing against West Ham at the London Stadium, interesting one to see what's going to happen in that one. I want to win this game, obviously, but we'll come on to predictions. What do you guys think? Get your predictions ready. But let's just have a quick look at how we fared in our last 5 games, as I like to do on FootMob. So just do that now. So, as you can see there, do this really quickly. On the left-hand side is West Ham. On the right-hand side is ourselves. On the left-hand side then, so West Ham, they beat Queen's Park Rangers. I believe that will be in the Cup. Then they beat Spursy. They've also beat Sunderland. And then they lost to Chelsea. And then they beat Burnley in that last game. So, you know, their sort of record at the minute, the last few games, they're doing all right, to be fair to them, under Nuno. And you will have tightened things up, Nuno, if you know what Nuno teams are like after being at Wolves and Forest. So over to us then. So we lost in the Cup there against Brighton. Then we beat City. Come on, I have to keep saying that. Come on. We beat City. Then we beat Arsenal, another big rival, beat them at Emirates. And then we beat Fulham. So a close game at home there, but again, a lovely finish to that game. And then we beat Spursy. I think that was a comfortable win in the end. But they went down to 10 men. So quickly, we're just going to have a quick look at possible lineup. So on the left-hand side, you can see there's West Ham. We'll start with our side, though, Manchester United, because this is what this channel's all about. So, in goals, never a question these days. Le Mans, or was it ever a question? Let's be fair. Dalot at right back, Maguire, Martinez in the middle, and Shaw at left back. And to be honest, I don't think I'd tinker with that defence. There's still always an argument whether you're going to put Mazraoui in there. But I think Dalot's actually done all right recently. Then in the middle, again, I don't think there's any tinkering to be done here either. We've got Casemiro, and we've got Meno there in the middle, and they've just struck up a really good partnership there. And we can see the difference when Casemiro comes off the pitch, so we've got to start with these two. And then at number 10, Bruno. Come on, let's get those assists up. Come on, he's got to catch. He's got to catch him. He's got to catch De Bruyne. He's got to catch Henry. Come on, we can do this. But after that goal as well, fabulous goal, even though it came off his shin. But we'll take it against Spurs. So, on the left-hand side, if he does that, it'll be Cunha. So, again, I would start with Cunha. I think with Dorgu out, I think we've got to go with Cunha anyway. Ahmad on the other side, and had another good game against Spurs. Didn't score, but had another good game. And then Mbeumo, and what a lovely finish that was. Lovely placed finish into that bottom corner. And what a routine, what a corner routine. And it looks like man like Evans is getting the credit for that, but again, it's all about the coaching staff. It's all good. We're going to give him a shout out. So I don't think I would change anything there, if I'm honest. What do you guys think? Put your comments in below. I mean, there's still an argument whether you start Sesko, but I think, I'm not saying it's just down to that, but I think very disappointed that he didn't score when Bruno put him through right at the death there. A bit of a tame header. You could probably say he probably should have just taken that down, maybe onto his chest and then just volleyed it in or something, but it's one of those things, innit? Hindsight and all that sort of stuff. But that's sort of where we're looking at for maybe our starting lineup. I can't really see any changes. I don't think I'd make any changes. I think we've started pretty well. Obviously, we've got 4 wins in a row. Let's try and get 5. Let's not mess around at this stage. We need to keep pushing on and cementing that top 4 position. So let's have a quick look at what West Ham might do then. So I'm just going to mention a couple of names. Some of the names, if I'm honest, I'm like, who are they? And especially ones to watch out for. But in defence, you've got Disasi. Is he on loan? Because it looks like a name that I recognise from Chelsea. Then you've got Wan-Bissaka. We all know who Wan-Bissaka is. He seems to play well against us whenever he plays against Manchester United, so that'll be interesting. And then Juff on the other side. Then you've got in the middle there, Souček has come back, Potts. The ones to watch for me, though, is Somerville. Now, Somerville has been playing really well. He's on form. And he's one of those players that, a bit like Morgan Rogers at Villa, can score a wonder strike. Definitely one to watch. Definitely on the break, he's one to watch. He's got a bit of speed. He's got a good finish on him, and we need to be watching out for Somerville. And then Bowen on the other side, another good player. I keep saying this, I'm very surprised he's still at West Ham. He's just one of those players where he's always touted to go to another club. It just doesn't quite happen. I don't know why, but I know he's been looking at, in the past, Liverpool was one before. I think even Manchester United has sort of sniffed around maybe as well in the past. Really don't understand why he's still at West Ham. Really good player, but maybe time's ticking now for him to move on. And then Fernandes there, interestingly, 2 Fernandezes there in sort of that sort of number 10 position, but our Fernandes, Bruno's the best anyway. Don't know who that is up front, but we're moving on. So, to continue with the preview, like I say, playing against West Ham, are we going to do it, guys? 4 wins in a row so far. Is that guy going to get his hair cut? I know it's not all about that, but I suppose it brings a bit of intrigue around the game, around the match tomorrow. But we need to move on now to the big one. And we all know what the big one is. Score prediction. What we're going to do here. Now, I've been in sort of 2 minds about this. At one point, I'm thinking, could it be a draw because it's Nuno, he's got West Ham playing, they've got decent results recently, they're at home as well, they kept us level at Old Trafford not so long ago, so you've got all that in your mind as well. But we're on a roll, Carrick's at the wheel, we're on the roll, we're on track still, got good vibes going on. Everybody's energised. Everybody's ready for each game now. We've had some big tests as well because I wasn't so sure that we could beat Fulham. And Spursy was another one because Spursy had our number and we've got through those tests. We've taken 2 big scalps in City and Arsenal. We've had that sort of lower block sort of challenge against Fulham, although they brought the game to us at times. And then Spursy with 10 men. Obviously, they're going to sort of retreat a little bit, and we've managed to beat them 2-0. So, with all that taken into consideration, my score prediction, and put yours in the comments, 3-1. I'm going for 3-1. I do keep going for a score for both teams, as you've noticed. I know we've got a clean sheet in that last game. I know we got a clean sheet against City. But I always feel that we're always a little bit susceptible to conceding. And I think when you've got players like Bowen and Somerville who can score out of nothing, I'm going to give them a goal there. So I'm going to go with 3-1. So please tell me what you guys think. Please put your score predictions in the comments. I will read them and look at them, especially when we come back tomorrow after the game and we're going live. It'll be a short one because it's going to be late, but we're still doing it. We're still doing it for the cause. But yes, United, come on. But yes, 3-1 then. Put your scores in below. But as always, please like, please share, please subscribe because it's really important. And I will see you on the next one. See you later, people.